Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. And this is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. This week is my season finale episode, man. And I'm so happy because it's been a grind trying to push this content out every other week, but it's been a wonderful grind. And I truly enjoy entertaining all y'all computer screens with my mug. So thank you very much to all those that have watched, shared, liked, cursed at, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all of that. So, first things first, let's just go ahead and get to the main topic. Pretty much this Bill O'Brien versus Rick Smith drama, man. So, apparently, there's been a lot of talk about Bill O'Brien getting let go at the end of this year. We got the record or whatever, 4-11 record, quarterback situation, blah blah blah. We ain't been doing too hot. But even with all of that, there was a report from Bleacher Report today talking about that him and Rick Smith have been beefing. Just that relationship is just toxic. And, there were just quite a few sources, unnamed sources or whatever, that was just giving out all this, information where it's like to the point where one of them were like, well, one of them has to go. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, I just want to speak on that a little bit. And my first point is maybe we should have seen this coming. If we think back to the whole quarterback situation with Brock Osweiler, it just seems like him and Smith weren't really on the same page with that hire. So, I mean, we don't officially know who brought who in or whatever, but we know there was definitely a disconnect as far as like who wanted Osweiler there. And so, with that being said, I mean, you kind of saw it at the end of the year when Osweiler reportedly popped off at O'Brien when he tried to bring him into the game against, I believe it was Tennessee, when he was hurt. Excuse me, when Savage got hurt or whatever. And so Osweiler apparently just popped off at him like, oh, you always want to bring me in and, trying to sell your ass. And it's just fiddle fodder. Look it up if you want to. But anyway, the point I want to make is, it's just always, maybe that was probably one of the things that's like, maybe there's a little friction there. And, definitely something to look at. But another thing that I really, really just want to elaborate on and just be perfectly clear about, if it comes down to choosing between Rick Smith and Bill O'Brien, yo, Rick gotta go, fam. Like for real. Like, listen, O'Brien is a very good coach. People might criticize him for like some certain play calling or play calling at certain times or some decisions that he's made, like, as far as like clock management or whatever. It is what it is. But I mean, other than that, I mean, when you think about what he's done with this team, like who he's had at the quarterback position, like this guy went from Tom Brady and Christian Hackenberg. Well, he went from Tom Brady to Christian Hackenberg, and that's probably not a good comparison to the pros, but Tom Brady to freaking Brian Hoyer, like, come on, man. And he was able to make the freaking playoffs like twice, and so twice with those quarterbacks at the helm, Hoyer and Osweiler. That's wild. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, his first three seasons, 9-7. There's not nothing to really just kind of shine a light to. That's not something that's not something that you probably want to go get too excited over, is what I'm trying to say. But definitely that's something. He was still in there, to win the division. And excuse me. And to top it all off, it's not just this year he's had injuries. He's had injuries, last year with certain players. Last year it was it was J.J. Watt with his injury. The year before that, or probably a year or two before that, it was Arian Foster. And so just for him to be able to like kind of piece all that together, that's 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 saying something, for him doing his job. Now, on Rick Smith's side of that, he still has to go. But part of the reason is, probably the whole thing about not finding a franchise quarterback is kind of a blemish on his record. I mean, yeah, it's hard to find a quarterback in the NFL to lead your team, but I mean, his inability to like find one or even draft one, it's kind of put O'Brien in a spot. To be honest with you, like, I mean, yeah, it's easy to coach Tom Brady, but I mean, I imagine like it's hard as hell to coach somebody that's, like an Osweiler that's just not getting it. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely, Rick, that's a blemish on Rick's record, and that's a pretty big strike against him too. You know what I'm saying? It's an unfair strike because because of the scarcity of finding a quarterback. It's not like the NBA. When you go pick up a dude off the street and have him play point guard for like 20 games or so until you actually find you a legit point guard. This is an NFL quarterback. You have to know like you have to know like a whole system of offenses of the off excuse me a whole system of an offense, just to have a functional game. You know what I'm saying? So, for Rick to not do that, that's definitely going to be a blemish on his record. um Also, just not even that, just other questionable moves, probably just not keeping up the O line, and just things like that, letting old buddy go, AJ Boye, go over to Jacksonville, and everybody's like, oh yeah, Jacksonville, Jacksonville, they are having a great season on defense, and Boye, he may or may not be the reason that they are, but uh, the point is like just letting a great player like that go and seeing how our secondary is like kind of deteriorated this season. That's going to be another strike against them. So yeah, man, Rick got to take the L on that one and just go, you know. But the one thing I do got to ask as well, if we do get a new general manager, is that going to ensure that O'Brien is safe in the long run? You know what I'm saying? So, um, like I said in last week's episode, our gift's gonna come after Christmas, like legit, legit. We're gonna get all our gifts. We're getting all our guys back, 2018. So, Watson's there, Miller, Watt, Merciless. You know what I'm saying? He'll be back. Clowney will be there. So, we're getting a lot of these guys back, that were hurt this year, and it's gonna be lit. Like, what I'm saying? Like, defense is gonna be lit. They're gonna be going after people. Offense is gonna be lit, and our schedule is gonna be super easy as well. We get a lot. I mean, we're gonna be third or fourth place, depending on how Sunday goes. So we'll get a third or fourth place schedule, which is pretty decent, for any team that's trying to bounce back from something. So, definitely, going back to my point is like, that'll be a good start for O'Brien. But what's going to happen, the next season after that, when we, like, hypothetically, we get to first place, or we win the division next season. So the season after that, we'll get like a division schedule where we have to face all the division leaders. So will O'Brien measure up to that? And if he doesn't measure up to that, will his new GM be like, you know what, maybe you just not it, and I just want to bring in my own coach? You know what I'm saying? So, definitely, that's going to be something to think about if Rick Smith goes. But another thing about this whole situation, man, I don't think O'Brien's going to leave. To be honest with you, like, it's going to be hard for him to leave. Number one, he's endorsed by the players. Hopkins even came out, and defended him. Like, yo, dude is a good coach. And a lot of the guys have said that. Like, he's a great players coach. I think Cushion was the one that said he was a players coach. So he has the endorsement of the team, which is very important. So, in going into that point, I think not to jump into the game playing portion of this episode yet, but I think the team is going to pretty much fight for him this Sunday. So that'll be interesting to see. Um, And like I said earlier, you just can't deny his success. His success with what he's worked with. You know, um, like all the quarterback. Listen, the quarterbacks we've had, they have not, they have not, been worthy of like some of these wins that we've gotten. It's crazy that Brian Hoyer was actually on a playoff team, but I mean, that's because we had a little bit of help. Well, hell, I don't even think Ryan Mallett. Let me see. He was here when Ryan Mallett was down here. Ryan Mallett took his spot, but hell, I don't even think Ryan Mallett won a game. We had to end up going back to Hoyer because Ryan Mallett couldn't even catch the freaking plane. So, oh man, it's just crazy. Just him dealing with that situation is like that says something about who he is on his own. It just speaks to like the type of coach that he is. And so, I mean, not to just go off and ramble on a tangent for another 10 minutes, but I'm just saying this to say this, man. Like, listen, the Texans have made some dumb mistakes uh, over the years as far as like personnel. We've let some people go, and we've kept some people that we shouldn't have kept. But at the same time, I think, we've been in this league for too long. We should have been shook off this whole expansion team tag on us. We're a legit NFL team now. It's time for us to grow up into a legit NFL team and just start making some hard decisions. This is one of those hard decisions right now. And you can't deny that it isn't. You're choosing between a head coach and a GM. That's some shit that's going to fuck up this team for the next few years, depending on which way you go and depending on how each of these dudes respond in their positions. In my personal opinion, and I'll just freaking say it, like, look, it's just time to cut ties with Rick Smith. And he's done a great job as far as like um picking pieces together for a team. Like he's made some great finds. Watt, obviously, Merciless. Who else? Clowney. That Clowney pick. I mean, hell, I was pretty much against that pick. You know what I'm saying? But everybody was like, I mean, I mean, it came at a time where we really needed a quarterback, and so we didn't get him. Well, we got Savage, I believe, in that same draft, but I mean, we all see how that turned out. So, look, bottom line is, man, Rick Smith just got to take the L on this one and just pack his bags if it's an ultimatum. So that's how I feel about it. Bill O'Brien, look, he's too great of a coach, and you've seen what he's working with. It's not I mean, we got some good pieces, but there's a lot of not so good pieces that are on there that he's working with. And to top it all off, we have a guy who's a quarterback coach, and we have a young quarterback that needs him. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, we need to keep O'Brien for the sake of this team's immediate future, at least, and just see and just take it from there. You know, so that's all I got to say about that. Now, with that being said, this Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts, man. It's our final game. The Texans are 4-11. They've been on a 5-game losing streak. This has been wearing me out. This has been wearing our whole fan base out, man. So really, this game is going to be against the Colts, and they're pretty much out of there. They're pretty much out of the playoffs, obviously. They're actually on a 6-game losing streak, come to think about it. And so they're just trying to save their season or show some pride in their season. We're just trying to do the same. The main thing about the Colts is this. They have Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. And, Jacoby Brissett has really not been playing like a backup quarterback, this season. He's been balling out pretty good. Got 12 touchdowns, 7 picks, not pretty numbers, but when you see him on the field, like there's a couple games where he's given the Colts a chance to win, and they've either won the game or they've just fell short. Against the Texans, they did not fall short. We fell short, obviously. Um, I could find that score. Yeah, 20-14. So Listen, man. This this game for the Colts, this game is not just about showing their pride for their season or putting a little gold sticker on their season for beating us for the year or whatever. This game is gonna be more so about Jacoby Brissett and just giving him a final showing of what he can do. Because I'm pretty sure with Andrew Luck coming back next year, um, I mean, I don't know if dude wants to sit on the bench behind Andrew Luck. I mean, yeah, Luck's been injured last, couple seasons with his shoulder, so Brissett might get a chance to come back in, but I mean, and in all honesty, I don't think they're going to get rid of Andrew Luck in favor of Jacoby Brissett. If they get rid of Andrew Luck, it's probably going to be one of those Peyton Manning situations. So, point is, um, this is going to be a game to showcase Brissett. So I expect Brissett to be the main focus. I expect him to show out in this game. Like the offense is going to revolve around him, probably more passing than anything. Um, Probably look for him to get a little bit mobile, because he has the ability to do that here and there. But definitely, I think he's gonna. I think they're gonna utilize everything that they can with him just to show him off. So when the off season comes around, they can, get him in a trade or something. They probably trade him at the draft for a couple of picks and get some, draft some pieces for their line or whatever that they need. But definitely, with Jacoby Brissett, they're gonna go through him a lot in his offense. Mostly passing. They might design some runs. Who knows? So that's going to be one thing that the Texans will have to just kind of keep a hold of. They'll have to make sure that they watch Brissett, watch, watch Jacoby Brissett, whatever his name is. 2 seconds away from calling him brisket. Just watch him. Just kind of contain him if he tries to run. Make sure he doesn't scramble, or get outside the pocket for too many yards or whatever. I think that's going to be the key to this game if they want to win. And it's going to be a key that's going to help them a lot. A lot of starters are looking to be out just because it's the last game of the season. And also Hopkins has a calf injury, so it'll be the first game he's missed in like his 5 years in the league. Um, Another thing, this is a perfect time to just for me personally, I think this is perfect time to just get familiar with like the backups that we have. Just see who's out there, just kind of, going to be just balling out and probably just going to be may and may not be around for next year. That's what I'm going to be looking at, just to get familiar with like, just who's all out there, who we need to keep, who we just need to let go. Um, and another thing, last thing, just very important, Texans don't get blown out. Like we, the last two games, man, we have gotten our asses kicked. In fact, last 2 or 3 games, man, we just gotten beat down senselessly, man. Please do not get blown out. If you're gonna lose, make this a close game. Make this game as close as possible, man. Give the fans one more thing to yell for, because look, as I reiterated this last month and a half, it's been a rough season. And so just waking up on Sunday mornings to turn the TV on just to see your favorite team get demolished is some Cleveland Browns boo boo. And we are not trying to have those problems, especially around the holidays. So just do not get blown out, Texans, man. Do it one good time for the city. You're not gonna be in the city, but damn it, do it for us anyway, man. Do it for the state of Texas, bro. Do not get blown out, man. You can blow Indianapolis out by all means, but please stay in the motherfucking game, bro. Ah, shit. But yeah, that's all I got to say for these Texans, man. Once again, I want to thank everybody that's been watching, and sharing, commenting, liking, all that stuff, cussing at me. I love it. So, anyway, I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla.